Tonight, it's a matchup of two teams, both riding three-game winning streaks. McNeese State, led by junior forward Jarvis Bradley, takes on Lamar with their powerful forward Lamar Sanders. It's a border rivalry game. The Cowboys and the Cardinals, next on FSN Southwest. From the Montagne Center in Beaumont, Texas, on the campus of Lamar University, FSN presents Southland Conference basketball. Tonight, the McNeese State Cowboys take on the Lamar Cardinals. And a very pleasant good evening again, everyone. Greg Lucas here along with Reed Geddes. This is a game with two teams battling for position in the Southland Conference with the tournament looking ahead. It's an important game for both teams.
Well, it is. Both of these teams have demonstrated that they can beat the best in the Southland Conference. McNeese State has already beaten Sam Houston State in overtime. And then Thursday night in a one-point thriller, Lamar upset Texas A&M Corpus Christi. So both of these teams have got their eyes on that tournament.
This McNeese State team features defense, but when they score, Jarvis Bradley is usually involved.
He's a 6'6" junior. He leads the team in scoring and rebounding. Coming off a terrific basketball game against UT San Antonio, Jarvis had 20 points and 10 rebounds, and he really is the key to the Cowboy attack.
Now, on the Lamar side, they've got a balanced scoring attack, but they've got a player named after the school, perhaps, Lamar Sanders, who is a scorer, but also a very strong rebounder.
Well, an interesting combination. He is a very versatile power forward, leads the Cardinals in rebounding and assists, and has become the heart and soul of the Cardinals basketball team. Almost got knocked out in the game Thursday night, came back, only played 5 minutes, came back into the game, seeing double, and actually made a game-saving steal to preserve that win over the Islanders.
They are going to have a nice crowd on hand at the Montagne Center for this very important Southland Conference game. You stay with us. The cheerleaders are ready. The fans are ready. We'll have the lineups and the tips coming up next. And welcome back to the Montagne Center. McNeese State versus Lamar here in Beaumont. Let's take a look at the starting lineup first for the McNeese State Cowboys, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Their lineup will have Troy Aaron, a 6', 190-pounder from Lake Charles. John Pichon. Jarvis Bradley, the big guy we talked about, the 6'6" junior from Dallas. Cleon Penn, a 6'11" junior from the Virgin Islands. And John Ford, 5'10", from Alexandria, Louisiana. Dave Simmons, the head coach, first year as a head coach, 12-15 overall in his third year, 39-44. His team is 7-6 in the Southland Conference. For the Lamar Cardinals, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, the starting lineup will have Brandon Chappelle of Beaumont, one senior guard at 6 feet tall. Lamar Sanders is one of the big guys up front from Hickory Flats, Mississippi, 6'6". Stephen Musa is the center, 6'9", 250 from Nigeria. Ray Sampson and Darren Hopkins make up the rest of the starters, with Steve Rockaport in his first year as a head coach, 12-14, and the team is 6-6 in conference play. Lamar's also very good here at home. They're 9-3, while McNeese is battling on the road. That's always tougher. The officials, Dave Stevens, Casey Eli, and Art Brown. The tap controlled by McNeese, wearing the blue.
We saw Cleon Penn jump center for the Cowboys, 6'11" junior. Last game, he just jumped center, only played about 3 minutes, and he was done for the night. It'll be interesting to see if Dave Simmons substitutes early for his big fella.
He was productive, though. He had 2 blocks in that short period. Let's take a look at the McNeese State Farm keys to the game.
Dave Simmons immediately said rebounding and contain the dribble penetration. The first time these two teams played in Lake Charles, Brandon Chappelle and Darren Hopkins really hurt the Cowboys off their dribble drive.
And the first 2 points of the game go to the man we talked about in the open, Jarvis Bradley. Pressure on the inbounds play. This is a staple of the McNeese team, defense. They play it hard, and they play it for the whole game.
And they play it for 94 feet. They'll put pressure on the Cardinals the length of the court for most of the evening.
Chappelle with a 3. He's almost a 40% shooter, and Lamar gets a 1-point lead, but quickly down court on the miss, and Lamar is pushing back the other way. Chappelle, the ball went into the corner to Hopkins, and will come back out into the corner. That's Sampson. looking for the big guy down low.
Well, he's calling for it. Steven Musa really wanting the ball, calling for it, not getting the pass from his teammate.
It's an international pivot because the Virgin British Isles and Nigeria. Sanders is left open, missing. Inside position for Musa, but he blows the shot, and the rebound comes down to McNeese State.
Ooh, big fella, you need to dunk that one. Well, this is a great matchup right here with the ball. Jarvis Bradley and Lamar Sanders guarding him.
Boy, Aaron goes back in. Taking left, taking right, finally having to give it up. Deshaun. 16 on the shot clock. Bradley.
Good help defense.
Finally knocked it. Let's take a look at the State Farm Lamar.
It's interesting. You see rebounding again. Both coaches, the first thing they identified, and then we've already seen the second key with Brandon Chappelle jumping up and knocking down a three-point shot. When Hopkins and Chappelle are hitting their three-point shots, that really opens up the paint for Sanders, but especially James Davis when he comes in.
Chappelle with a long miss and Penn with a rebound. Here's McNeese coming back down the floor. 3-2 lead. Lamar. Each team has one field goal. Lamar's was a 3. Good defense. Ford will push it off the glass. Not there. Offensive rebound to Ford, and he pops it home.
John Ford averages 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. He's this week's Player of the Week in the Southland Conference.
For a 5'10 player, he averages almost 4 assists a game. Sampson was hoping to draw a foul, did not get it. The ball just goes out of bounds, and they're going to say it was blocked out, so Lamar's going to keep the ball.
I think Penn got an elbow to the ribs. He's doubled over. You see him kind of at the top of your screen. He's bent over. He played good belly-up defense on Sansom that time, but I think he got the wind knocked out of him.
And there he has a block, but a foul. Gonzalez is getting ready to come in, probably for Penn.
Yeah, you see him holding those ribs, and he just swats at this ball and almost gives away a foul. I'm not so sure he doesn't need to come out of the game.
I think he is about to. Sanders is at the free throw line. He's a 52% foul shooter, and that's probably why. Penn will leave. Lamar from the colorful named town of Hickory Flat, Mississippi. He gets 1 out of 2.
Quentin Gonzalez checking in for Cleon Penn, and Quentin Gonzalez had some pretty hard words for the Lamar Cardinals. There may be a little emotional conflict going on down there with Sanders and Gonzalez.
He was pumped up too. He's out of Galveston, Texas. He played very well against them too in that first meeting. 12 points, 12 rebounds. So we had a lot to talk about. And of course his team won by 8.
Yeah, they won by 8 because of a terrific comeback. They were down 13, and McNeese State went on a 31-10 run to win that basketball game in Lake Charles.
John with the miss. Ford got it back. Now Bradley on the screen off. Triple team, and Mark Bradley's home. Chappelle helped direct that pass the other way. It couldn't be handled by McNeese. Lamar Sanders, not ordinarily one of your ball handlers, at 6'6", 230 pounds. Gives it to a man who is Darren Hopkins. Hopkins swings it around to Chappelle. Sanders again looking for the pivot man if they can get it in there. They do. Little jump hook, left short, and the rebound is just saved and then almost taken away, but it will still be McNeese ball. Lamar leads the series. Very strong here. These teams aren't that far apart. Lake Charles, Louisiana, and Beaumont, they're real neighbors. 4-4.
Border battle every year in the Southland Conference. I look forward to this matchup.
John Ford. Gonzalez. Oh, opening down the lane. Gonzalez with a strong move.
And not very good defense by Lamar for Quentin Gonzalez to start at the top of the key, get all the way to the rim, and nobody rotate over from the weak side.
Ace by 2. Now some pushing and shoving. And I believe it's going to be whistled on Bradley.
Yeah, you see Quentin Gonzalez, and look on the floor where he catches the ball. He's out beyond the three-point line, and you see kind of a half-hearted help by Darren Hopkins, but he just goes down there and kind of turns his arms, and that's that old Olay defense.
Lamar has big James Davis into the game. He's a 7-footer. He's working in low, and the pass was way off target. Here's Aaron on the break. Blind feed off the break. And it won't go down, but the follow by Pichon won't go, and Sanders with the rebound. That rim just had springs on it. Driving through the lane, but not getting the shot down. Hopkins, and here comes Gonzalez. Gives it off to Aaron, and Aaron runs out of bounds and lost it all by himself.
Not exactly pretty in the first 4 minutes.
We'll take a break with 15:54 to go. 6-4, McNeese State by a pair. McNeese State by 2 early in the first half. You know, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Southland Conference Tournament is coming to Houston. A bid to the NCAA tournament will be on the line March 8th through the 11th at the Campbell Center, and you can get ticket information at southland.org at any Southland Conference school ticket office.
It's going to be a terrific tournament. The Campbell Center is a fabulous facility for a tournament, and it's the first time Southland Conference has gone to a neutral site, a central site for the tournament, and I think people are going to love it.
Well, for a long time. They obviously, when they're in Shreveport, all those years they were neutral, but for the last several years they've used top-seeded team. That ball's rolled out, and it will go back. Lamar's second turnover. McNeese has 3. Lamar's only 1 for 7 shooting. McNeese is 3 for 7. One of Lamar's was a 3.
Oh my gosh!
And they got they caught him for that screen.
James Davis just left Lamar Sanders hanging out there. See this bone-jarring screen, and James Davis is guarding the screener, and you see how far away from the screener he is, and man, that was a serious pick.
Lamar with the basketball. Davis, there's the big guy. Whoa, as he sticks it in the rim. That's a soft touch, though. You have to have a soft touch to do that.
It was like one of those new NBA balls. You know, every time they shot him, it seemed like it stunk up just like that.
There was a foul also.
You got to have some serious guts to step in front of James Davis and draw a charge when he's coming through the basket. He is a load, 7 foot 1 inch. Quentin Gonzalez making a good effort.
Yeah, but the load in the 7-1 part, it's the 335.
Well, I was going to be tactful.
He's got one more. He's averaging 16 points and 7.8 rebounds. He's had to sit out a little bit. A couple times he got crossways with the coaching staff, but he's still seeing a lot of that. And he is the actual scoring leader on the team in average.
What you're saying is it's not the tractor that gets you, it's the trailer?
This trailer's got some size. 6-5. 1-point lead for McNeese State. Laurie Lawrence is number 1. He's got off to Gonzalez. And he misses the fall away. The battle for the board is still alive, and Lamar comes up with it off the court. Hopkins.
Well, Davis is over. Well, that is terrific early offense. James Davis just ran to the lip of the basket and turned and sealed a defender really deep.
Ours had a couple of 1-point leads. This is one of them. The ball slapped away inside. Gonzalez hangs it short. Saved by Ford. And now Lawrence will back it up. He's got 18 on the shot clock, plenty of time. Lawrence out of Memphis, Tennessee, a junior transfer, gets it off the top now. Deshaun might have taken an extra step, missed it anyway, and the rebound corralled by Mr. Davis.
A nice outlet pass.
Alley-oop and a jam for Sanders. And Lamar with its largest lead at 3.
Now, that was a terrific outlet pass by James Davis. He has come in off the bench and made almost 4 positive plays in a row. He stopped John Ford on the dribble penetration. But watch him snap that outlet pass. Boy, that is just beautiful basketball. Darren Hopkins doing a good job when the shot goes up of releasing. But look how far down the floor he is when he catches this pass. I mean, the initial pass, and suddenly Hopkins is free of probably 4 of the Cowboy defenders. That's good transition basketball.
Sports Ultimate Nightly Highlight Show is right here, the FSN Final Score. And every great highlight, every unforgettable moment is every night on FSN. It's the only national show that gives you nothing but wall-to-wall highlights. Called the FSN Final Score, and it's on tonight at 10:30 on FSN Southwest. You know, Davis, who we were looking at a moment ago, the big guy, is from Minneapolis, Minnesota. He's a transfer from Schoolcraft Community College, where last year, averaging 21 points and 12 rebounds, he was a junior college All-American. A big recruit in more ways than one for this Lamar team.
Now when he has his head right, he is a very good basketball player. Sometimes he gets a little distracted and loses focus on what he's trying to accomplish on the court, but when he's focused, he's really good.
Gonzalez from the right side. And Clinton has 4 points. Narrows it to a 1-point deficit for McNeese. Barrow brings the ball up court for Lamar. Matthew Barrow out of Baton Rouge, a senior. Hopkins. There's Davis. Quick turnaround and bang.
Boy, he's feeling it tonight. Comes into this game as a leading scorer for the Cardinals, and he is off to a terrific start.
He's had some great games this year. In fact, he's had some that are so great you wonder why he's averaging only 16. I'll tell you about a couple of them in a moment. The ball's loose on the court, and finally on the scramble, we tie it up. And Hierro will bring it down the other end of the court. Davis has 5 points so far in this game. He had a 35-point game against Louisiana Tech earlier this year. And he had 29 points and 15 rebounds against Stephen F. Austin, so he can be dominant.
You see the good soft touch, and makes the game easy when you can just catch, turn, and shoot.
Now there have been some changes in the lineup. One of them that we catch coming in right now from McNeese, number 42, Eric Massey. He's a sophomore from Memphis, Tennessee, and he places Gonzalez, who gets a rest.
Now, good adjustment by Dave Simmons. He's gone to a zone mainly because of the difficulty in matching up with James Davis.
Hopkins misses the 3. The ball is tapped up. Davis finds it and passes quickly over to Sanders.
Boy, what a beautiful touch pass. No look pass from big James Davis.
Shouldn't be a surprise either, because he has a very high for a pivot man assist average of 2.3 a game. That's high for a center in college basketball. Massey underneath. There's a whistle away from that basket. It's either, well, it's going to be on 3-3. That's going to be Sanders. That would be his second.
And watch this nice touch pass from James Davis coming across, right across the high post. The ball pops free, catches it. That is just terrific interior pass. You know, you were talking about what a good passer Davis is. The leading assist man for the Cardinals is their power forward, Lamar Sanders. So both big guys passing the ball well for Lamar.
Terry Todd is into the lineup, number 31 for Lamar. Ford swings it down inside. Massey has it swatted away by Davis.
Boy, he is huge in this first half.
He's huge, and he's playing huge. Lamar with the basketball, 5-point lead. They're looking into the big guy. In front of him, and that paid off, but he kept it alive. Setting up Barrow for 3. Big wrestling match, and he somehow got the ball, Davis, and then he slammed it off the McNeese player, but he was already out of bounds.
A good hustle staying with that. Big Eric Massey had him. Ooh, we got an elbow right there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they're going to have to call that.
Guess he didn't see it.
Yeah, see, that's part of the distraction, that mentally sometimes he gets taken out of his game. And I mean, he's just playing too good to throw an elbow at somebody jogging down the court.
Aaron with the ball.
That's so frustrating for Steve Rockefeller, because I think James Davis has to realize how valuable he is to this basketball team, and he cannot allow himself to be taken out of the game just by jawing.
You get the defense on Massey. Massey rolls it over the top. Good shot by Eric Massey. 13-10 with 11:45 to go here in the first half. Lamar with the ball in the lead. Both these teams battling for position in the postseason. Both are playing in the East, where first 2 spots are still up for grabs. Not just everyone. Ben Davis on another feed from Sanders. This is talking about Sanders and the assist. Well, Davis got the other end of it.
And you can be awful good on a basketball court when your big fellas pass the ball to each other.
And you look at a lot of teams before a game, and I'll do it. You'll see some big guys with stats of averaging less than an assist a game. Not uncommon. Turnaround by Massey. Tap out goal. Still won't go. And Davis. Ooh. Oh, well, he may get caught. Well, no. He's not going to get caught. Bradley will. Now, Bradley fouled him.
With his face.
He did foul him. But Davis was a little more exuberant. He does have to watch that. It is a timeout on the court. Yeah. 15-10 the score with 10:59 to go in first half.
That's a chip foul.
Lamar leads it by 5 with 10:59 to go. There were other scores from the Southland Conference, and these are very important. We'll tell you exactly how later, but A&M Corpus Christi was a winner over UT San Antonio. Sam Houston State beat Texas State. No surprise on those two. But UT Arlington over Stephen F. Austin, that's an upset. And Nicholls State knocked off by Central Arkansas, likewise. And in the second half, Southeastern Louisiana leads by 12 over Northwestern State. Those two teams right now are the top 2 seeds in the East, but something's going to give there.
James Davis has been very good. He already has 7 points, 3 rebounds, only played 6 minutes. Not so sure, partner. He's not better coming off the bench.
Well, they've been doing that lately, and you're right, because he has 22 games now, and 16 of them were struck. That's going to be a foul on the defense, not in position yet, and much to the dismay of Eric Massey, but he got the call.
That's a good idea by Massey, and Hopkins really fortunate that he didn't get called for a charge here. You're coming down 2-on-1, and you see how they're both in the middle of the court. You want to spread it out and make that defender have to cover more ground instead of having one guy on the block and the other guy coming right down the gut. Need better spacing.
And that one was really close to between charge and block. The block is what was called. Almost taken away by Ford. Lamar with it. They have plenty of time in the shot clock. Didn't need it. Shot not there. Hopkins had a hand on it. Went off Lawrence. Nope, went off Hopkins. It will be McNeese State basketball.
That was a good defensive adjustment by Dave Simmons. Steve Rockefeller saw the Cowboys sag off of Lamar Sanders and put somebody behind Davis and right in his lap in front of him, and just going to dare Lamar Sanders to hit that three-point shot. He's only a 29% three-point shooter. Nice adjustment.
15 to 10, 10-27. Ford behind the 3. Good rebound. Flying through.
Yeah, it was.
Rory Lawrence. Rory is 6'6" and obviously a leaper. Ford. Gonzalez. Trying to move on Sanders. Sanders grabbed him. Now he's got a problem.
Yeah, he does.
Auto foul, Lamar Sanders. That's his second for James Starr.
Second on Sanders. He's the only guy with trouble, but that'd be enough to probably take him out for a while.
A lot of times, coaches, when you're playing at home, if a player gets 2 fouls, they'll put him back in before halftime. I bet Steve Rockefeller just watches that score, and if he can get enough minutes out of Musa and keep the lead, I would be surprised if Lamar Sanders comes back in this half.
Gonzalez rolls it out. And rebound picked up on him. He's bearing the ball now.
One of the reasons the key to our game was three-point shooting. Look at all those three-point field goals made this season by Lamar. 4th in the conference, and Dave Simmons' staffs knew that coming into this game, one of the keys for them would be the ability to push out on Steve Rockefeller's team and prevent that three-point shot. So that's what he's calling for right now. Three-point shot.
Cowboys lineup here replaces Quentin Gonzalez.
Cleon Penn is into the game for Gonzalez. He comes back into the unit. Lamar will have the ball with 9:43 to go first half, leading by 5. Farrell. Whoops. Todd lost control. Out of bounds. It'll go to McNeese.
Great hustle by Roy Lawrence. Dave Simmons has got to be pleased with the defensive effort that he's getting. Look at the good hands by Lawrence and then chasing after that ball. It's good defense.
Turnovers are 5 for McNeese and now 3 for Lamar. And Lawrence with the basketball. Massey sets the screen. Lawrence trying to work around the perimeter. Tight defense on the 3-shooter. Penn, that's not where he shoots from. Are staying within range of the player, not allowing him an open shot. Shot clock inside 7. Well, he made it not much because, wait a minute.
Oh, he's got a foul. Boy, howdy.
He's going to get no basket.
I got to reach in. Steve Rockefeller's so frustrated. He sees his basketball team. Play terrific defense for 33 seconds, only to bail the Cowboys out in the last 2.
Well, except the basket didn't count, so the foul was before he shot it, so they at least have to work for it again. That was the first foul by the way.
He traveled. Oh, he called a moving screen, but I tell you what, he could have just as easily called Eric Massey. Eric Massey's trying to hand off and then turn and use his rear end as a screen after he hands off, but he shifted his feet. Watch his feet shift and he picks up his pivot foot. He catches it right here, and then he hops and see him move both feet before he hands it off.
He'd probably rather have the travel.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's his second foul. Here's Barrow. Chappelle. Looking for the big guy. They got bodies around him. They found him with a low pass, but the help defense knocked it loose. He's staying with it, and Davis dives on the court, and we may have
a great hustle.
Wow. They're trying to calm Davis down. He's very, very hot. Al, that was another elbow.
Yeah, it sure was. You're exactly right. He threw two. We saw him throw one earlier, and he threw that. And, you know, he gets frustrated. And, again, the biggest thing that this young kid needs to work on is just mentally staying in the game. And you see Brandon Ulrich talking to him, an assistant coach, just saying, hey, look, stay calm. Stay in this thing. You're playing too well to take yourself out of it.
He's one of these guys that, unfortunately for him, his proclivity for whipping those questionable elbows is going to get around the longer he's playing. Tune into FSN Southwest tonight at 11:30 for High School Scoreboard Live. Host Rick Renner will team up with Texas high school basketball expert Mike Kunstadt to bring you scores and highlights from across the Lone Star State. High School Scoreboard Live tonight at 11:30 p.m. on FSN Southwest. 15-10, still a 5-point lead. Knocked away, but picked up by Ford.
Good defense by Steven Musa.
Long three is all that McNeese could get out of that. Not there, and the rebound comes off to Musa, and he is fouled from behind. Maybe massive. See.
That was an awful good series for Steven Musa. Did a good job helping on John as John Ford came off of the on-the-ball screen. And good job recovering back to his man and then getting that defensive rebound.
In the bonus, Musa will be at the line. The foul was deferred on Massey, so he's going to have to come out of here. And into the lineup is Wardell.
Nice touch for Steven Musa, 6'9" is junior from Lagos, Nigeria, by way of Redlands Community College.
Did you realize how many, first Akeem started it, but how many Lagos, Nigerian basketball players are playing basketball? Boy, they're all over the place.
A bunch.
He kind of made that a popular sport over there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
16-10 with 8 minutes and 4 seconds to go here in the first half.
Brandon Chappelle doing a terrific job so far in this basketball game defending John Ford. Well, that's good defense.
You know, the McNeese defense has been very impressive. We know that McNeese has strong defense, but Lamar's defense has been very impressive. Particularly these half-court sets. They don't give them any room. They're showing some quickness. Wardell off to Ford. Ford will throw up a three and hit.
Boy, howdy, that was just terrific defense by Brandon Chappelle. And Ford, realizing he's not going to be able to shake him, just jumps up over him and buries a nice jump shot.
Closing the gap to three, Hopkins. Back over to Chappelle. Davis on the high post, not really where they wanted to have the ball, so they'll now get it to him there. One-on-one, he just turns around and doesn't get it. The rebound comes off to McNeese. Pichon. Ford almost dribbled high. Ford. Well, as you said, he was the player of the week, and he's showing why in this game, too.
But do you see what a good job he does of dipping his shoulder after he comes off of that screen? He was so tight to that screen, there was no way for the Cardinal defensive player to come over the top. Nice job turning the corner.
7 points for Ford, and the 6-point deficit is now only one. Davis juggles the ball, picks it up, flips it across to Chappelle. Chappelle sees a lane for a moment. And then he tried to throw it, and it was a little too high for Musa to handle. And there's Ford. And the lead has changed hands.
Matthew Barrow throws, allowed John Ford to get behind him, and that's unforgivable in transition defense. When you're the back man, you cannot let anybody get behind you.
Well, the double big man lineup has not been working for Lamar here. They haven't been able to get any points.
Yeah, the last 2 baskets by John Ford. Here's that transition basket, but the one I liked was the one right before it. Watch how low he dips his shoulder. Watch him dip right there. He is so tight to that screen. Darren Hopkins does not have a chance to squeeze in there. That's a good on-the-ball screen. You young players out there, that's how you come off of a screen. Dip that right shoulder and get as close as you can, and then turn as tight as you can, and you're going to end up with an open jump shot.
As a matter of fact, while we're talking about John Ford, he is the Aeropostale Student Athlete of the Week. Team leader in back-to-back wins over Northwestern State and Central Arkansas with 18 and 16 points. He also had a pair of free throws with 18 seconds left to give the Cowboys a 82-79 lead over Northwestern State, which they won. John Ford, the Aeropostale SLC Player of the Week.
A little half-court trap by the Cowboys.
Hopkins swatted away, but a foul will be whistled just the same on Cleon Penn.
Man, Wardell just tried to slap that thing back to Lake Charles.
And we'll have a timeout before any shots take place. 6:05 to go in the first half. McNeese State 17, Lamar 16. McNeese leads it by 1, but it could be a lot worse, except for James Davis keeping his emotions in check. He has certainly played a good, strong first half.
And has done a lot of things on the floor. Good elbow jump shot. He has done a nice job passing the ball. Here's that beautiful pass to Lamar Sanders. He's been equally good down on the defensive end. He's got his hands up. He's moved his feet. He's been a good presence, and it's even been good cutting to the basket, moving his feet on the offensive end. So a lot of good things here in the first half by James Davis.
He's on the bench right now. Hopkins is at the free throw line. Hopkins has not scored yet. He had 14 points against McNeese in the earlier meeting. A game in which Davis did not play. There's one. He'll have one more. Of course, his heroic moment of this year was in the last game when he had a layup and a free throw with 6.9 seconds left to beat Texas A&M Corpus Christi by a point on Thursday. He had 26 points, by the way.
Yeah, that was a career high. He was 4 for 7 from the three-point line and perfect from the free throw line in that game, 8 for 8.
Well, he's 2 for 2 in this one, and his team taking the lead back by 1. Ford behind the Penn screen. He's got Davis to beat, and Davis blocked it away. Hopkins rolls it home. Davis did come back between free throws, as you saw him defensive just a moment ago, and Hopkins is called for the foul.
James Davis again making his presence known on the defensive end. That's a good help and nice block. And then Darren Hopkins with just a little more energy than everybody else. You see him just outrun everybody on the court.
Ford brings it out to Lawrence. Lawrence has the ball out back. His team trailing by 3, but that could change. Ford misses the shot. Lamar with the ball. Todd given room. Can't get the 3. Lawrence with the rebound. Off to Ford. McNeese coming back the other way. Deshaun backs it off. Now Ford. He's a big screen. He's going to use him again, I think. Ooh, a little bouncing push there, but Ford kept his pivot foot in place, shoots it up left-handed, and it's tapped in.
That was Wardell. I'm not so sure that ball wasn't still on the rim.
Alvin Wardell will get credit, and it's 20-19. That was a nifty ad-lib, however, by Ford, because he had to shoot left-handed. He was losing his balance. Davis tries to make a move, and he's grabbed as he brought the ball down on the dribble.
Let's watch and see if that ball was off of the cylinder down there on the other end. John Ford just tossing it up there, and the ball's bouncing, and no, it was off. That's a good no call. The angle we had over here, I thought it was still over the cylinder. Aldrin Wardell, 6'6" junior from Shreveport. He's an athletic kid.
Davis at the line. Lands in the first one.
Ray Sansom returns for the Cardinals. He replaces Darren Hopkins.
Sansom into the game, replacing Hopkins. One more shot for Davis. You know, they don't play football at Lamar anymore, but if they did, with the footwork of Davis and his size, boy, the football coach would be saying, how about a two-sport guy?
Yeah, Lamar Sanders also. You can see him playing middle linebacker or tight end.
Wardell missing a long rebound. In fact, it wasn't even really a rebound. It was Ford who picks up the ball.
It's a long pass.
Give it to him. Timing was a little slow, but he's going to make a move and a follow. It partly blocked, actually, that time by Penn.
Yeah,
Penn's a specialist in that.
Yeah, that was a bad shot. Curry Todd was open. James Davis should have thrown it to him and then reposted again.
And Pushon was pushed out of bounds. Before anything transpires, we'll take a break. 2-point game, Lamar on top. Lamar leads it by 2 with 3:47 to go in the first half. For those of you in the Houston Rocket viewing area, and you know who you are, tomorrow at 4:30, the Rockets will be on the air taking on Orlando. The Magic, the foe, the action again on FSN Houston will start at 4:30 tomorrow, so catch the action in the Rocket markets.
That's an important game for the Rockets after last night's loss to Atlanta Hawks. They need to win that game.
Dave Simmons in his first year, longtime assistant coach. In fact, he was at Louisiana Tech, played there and was set free throw records there. So his team really should improve their free throw shooting because they're only a 66% free throw shooting team. And there was a bit of improvement right there. But Dave was quite a free thrower.
He's been a terrific assistant coach. Was assistant coach at Louisiana Tech and was an assistant at Northwestern State the last 2 years when the Demons won back-to-back Southland Conference titles. And he was certainly due, and this has been a good hire for McNeese State.
Both these teams have come in here on a 3-game winning streak, so something has to give in this one. So far, nothing. It's just tied at 21. Second tie of the game. Davis with a jump hook.
Yeah, nice adjustment by Steve Roccaforte. When James Davis catches that ball, if both of his feet are in the paint, he's going to score.
Ford slings the ball to Deshaun. Back out to Ford. 2-point Lamar lead. 3:13 to go in the half. Among other things at halftime, we'll be chatting with Dr. James Simmons, the president of Lamar, who has a connection with McNeese.
Oh, great defense down inside by Ray Sansom.
Ford off the glass, won't get it. I have an update also during the halftime. Penn had it and couldn't control it. It'll come back. Now we're going to have another change of line. Lamar will bring Hopkins back into the game, and Sansom will take a rest. Davis has 10 points here in the first half. Sanders with 5. They're the top scorers for Lamar. 9 points for Ford, top man for McNeese. Ford has the ball now. He's being watched by Chappelle. He's got a determined grimace on his face. And there's a strong move inside by Gonzalez, who had that 12-point-12 rebound game first meeting.
Gonzalez is just too big a load down inside for Curry Todd. That was a nice offensive adjustment by Dave Simmons, going to the high-low, bringing Penn up high, which draws Davis defensively up high and allows a lot of room for Quentin Gonzalez down low.
Todd for 3. Curry Todd, a 34% three-pointer, hits his first basket of the game, and it's back to a 3-point Lamar lead.
For McNeese State to go right back inside to Quentin Gonzalez.
Deshaun. Lawrence tried to penetrate, swings it into Pichon, knocked away. Deshaun says that wasn't a great defensive play. That was a foul, but it goes in as a defensive play. Now, Sansom coming back into the Lamar lineup, and he replaces Hopkins.
Now, Curry Todd doing a good job moving without the ball, spotting up, and might have been a 4-point play. And here's the block on the other end by Matthew Barrow. Good up fake.
Pretty good recovery, though, on the play by Sampson. And here comes Chappelle the other way. Stop, pop, jumper, no. Ford with a rebound.
I like that shot. I like it when you're coming down like that, just to stop at about 14 feet and pull up for the jump shot. So often you see players over-penetrate, and they don't really have numbers, and that's a good shot.
There was contact, forced, but paid off as Cleon Penn gets his first two, which is usually about all he gets. He averages 2.1 a game. But he blocks a lot of shots. He had 40 coming into this game. Barrow with the ball.
Boy, Davis has got a mismatch inside.
Well, we're going to stay outside. Whoa! Sampson went up and over and a foul. Maybe on him. I think he jumped on the foul.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be. Well, Sampson brings some serious energy to this Cardinal team. And we saw him earlier. We saw him earlier at Sam Houston State, and he hardly got any playing time at all. Watch to the top of your screen. He just comes flying over the top, going for that rebound.
Hopkins back in, Sampson out. Man, you talk about a rotation. Those two guys change places every other play. Lawrence will be at the free throw line. Wardell is in, and Penn is out. Lawrence at the free throw line for Memphis. They're from Memphis, Tennessee, for McNeese.
Hopkins has got 2 fouls. I guess Steve Rockefeller is trying to keep him off of the defensive end wherever possible, but still slipping into play offense.
And Ford stepped on the midcourt line.
John Ford's almost done that 2 or 3 times just in the offensive set. He keeps backing it up, and that was inevitable. He's just getting too close to that line.
Curry Todd inbounds the ball for Lamar. Matthew Barrow with the ball now. Chappelle is over on the right wing. Big man Davis is roaming the baseline under the hoop. Less than a minute to go here in the first half. 1-point Lamar lead. Todd lobs it down inside to Davis. He's a little under the basket. He tries to swing back. Can't get it. Gonzalez gets a hand on the rebound, and finally Lamar does come off with the ball. Here's Ford. Lawrence is left alone behind the line. Tip and a tap, and here comes the rebound to Barrow. Now the final shot can be taken if Lamar wishes to, and that's the plan anyway. This is Hopkins. Hopkins tried to penetrate. Shot in traffic. Didn't really get a shot. Ball slapped away. Hopkins steals it back. Taken off. Here's Ford from midcourt. And it's going to be... Whoa! Man! We've reached the end of the first half. And we have a 1-point game. Lamar is on top. Emily Davis standing by to update us around the sports world. Reed and I will be back, and I'll also be talking with Dr. James Simmons. That's a very busy halftime. That's all coming your way. And then the second half to follow. Again, the halftime score, Lamar 26, McNeese State 25. You're watching Southland Conference basketball on FSN.
Welcome into the FSN studios. I'm Emily Jones. We are at the half between McNeese State and Lamar. We'll get you back out to the game in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at some of the numbers driving this season's Southland Conference race. Offensively speaking, Texas A&M Corpus Christi leads the way in the win column and the points department, averaging almost 80 points per game to go along with its 20-6 record. Northwestern State isn't too far behind, putting up just over 78 points per game, but with only 13 wins to show for it. Texas State occupies the 3rd spot, and Sam Houston State, the conference's 2nd-place team, averages a shade over 76 points per outing. On the defensive side of things, Stephen F. Austin boasts the league's best D, giving up just over 61 points in 25 games this season. And there's a 5-point difference between them and the rest of the conference. 4 teams, UT San Antonio, McNeese, Sam Houston, and Central Arkansas, are all in the 66-point range. Here's a look at what's on tap this week on the Southland Conference hardwood. Tuesday, Lamar travels to Northwestern State. Wednesday, A&M Corpus Christi hosts Stephen F. Austin. And there are 3 games on tap on Thursday. Sam Houston at UT San Antonio, Lamar at Nichols, and Southeast Louisiana at McNeese State. That's going to do it for us here in the studio. Time now to get you back to the arena for the second half. We hope you enjoy the rest of the game.
What if there's a basketball tournament? 16 top college teams with star players, each with stars in their eyes, and each with their eyes on the prize, the NCAA tournament. And then, what if they win at the NCAA tournament? It can happen again. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Southland Conference Basketball Tournament, March 7 through 11, 2007, at the Campbell Center in Houston. For tickets, go to southland.org.
Southland Conference Basketball and FSN is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, the title sponsor of the Southland Conference Basketball Tournament, March 7th through the 11th at the Campbell Center in Houston. By Aeropostale, with stores across the Southwest region. You can find one at aeropostale.com. By the United States Army, there's Strong, and then there's Army Strong. By Havoc Energy Drink, disrupt the ordinary. And by Signarama, the world's largest sign franchise. Welcome back to the Montagne Center at Lamar University, where at halftime Lamar leads at 26-25 over McNeese State. Now it's time to take a look at our Southland Conference Capital One Classroom champions. First from Lamar, one of the players we've seen in action in this game tonight, Curry Todd, a junior guard from Byhalia, Mississippi, academic all-star for the fall semester, and he carries a hefty GPA. He also ranked second on the team in scoring at 11.6. The Capital One Classroom champion for Lamar is Curry Todd, junior guard, 3.3 grade point average, averaging 9 points a game. He also has been a factor in this game. Our two classroom champions, brought to you by Capital One and the Southland Conference. We're going to take a break, and when we return, we'll be chatting with the president of Lamar University, Dr. James Simmons.
In the day, we were playing basketball with Chuck Taylors when it was cool to play basketball with Chuck Taylors. In the 70s, when the game started to be played above the rim, we were jumping out of the gym. In the 80s, we were delivering the mail all the way to the NCAA Sweet 16, and our women's basketball in the 80s was just as good. And today, Southland Conference basketball is bigger and better. We're made up of 12 universities with an East Division and West Division. And when East meets West, watch out. In this league, our men take it strong to the basket, and our women have ice water in their veins. In this league, you better D up, because if you don't, our men will make you pay, and our women will make you wonder why you even rolled out of bed. Southland Conference basketball. Our time is now.
Lamar leads it by 1 at the half, and it's my pleasure to be joined by Dr. James Simmons, the president of the university. Now, we've talked in past seasons at halftime, but we didn't do a game here last year, and that was, I guess we were here last prior to all of the hurricane damage, and I know that you, as the president of school, had to do an awful lot of things in an awful quick time. How did it pull it off?
Well, we had an amazing recovery, about $50 million worth of damage. 150 buildings were damaged, and in 24 days we were back in the classroom, back in this facility, and graduated on time.
Well, that's amazing, but the other thing that's amazing is this school continues to grow. You keep adding students. You're over the 10,000 mark now.
I know, really excited. We're adding a new Cardinal Village 4 new housing complex that'll house an additional 500 students this next fall.
Wow. What's the secret? What's making it happen?
Well, we have great academic programs, and we have 100 baccalaureate programs, 50 master's degree programs, and about 5 doctoral programs. We're really leaders in this part of the state in education and research, economic development. Students want to come here, and we're excited to receive them.
Well, you're also, of course, one of the top 2 teams attendance-wise in basketball in the Southland Conference. I know you'd like to end up one of the top teams in the postseason tournament, too.
I know. You said one of the top 2 teams. I thought we were the top team when it came to attendance.
You are. Texas A&M Corpus Christi's real close, though.
Yeah, we're going to stay ahead of them, though.
Okay. Listen, it's good to see you again. Next time we're here, we'll talk some more.
You got a deal. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Dr. James Simmons, the president of Texas, great school here in Lamar University. We'll be back in just a moment. It is a 1-point game, 26-25 at the half. Greg Lucas here along with Reed Geddes. It's been an exciting first half. We don't expect anything different in the second. But just to remember what happened in the first, let's take a look at some of the highlights.
Yeah, early on, Lamar Sanders was very good in transition. Cardinals getting out and running, and Davis with a terrific touch pass. We love this play in the first half. James Davis was terrific. He had 10 points, 5 rebounds for the Cardinals in the first half. Did a little bit of everything. For the Cowboys, the story was John Ford. John Ford came into this game as the Southland Conference Player of the Week. He was terrific. Had 9 points, had a three-pointer. Did a good job off the dribble drive. He was good in transition. And Curry Todd hits a three-pointer for Lamar, but neither team doing a very good job shooting the ball in the first half.
In fact, we can take a look at the O'Reilly Auto Parts halftime stats and we'll see what we're talking about. 32%, 36%, 9 for 28, or 11 for 31. Take your pick. Neither team shooting threes well, or many free throws. The rebound advantage, though, did go to, probably a little surprising, McNeese State because of the job we saw from Davis, but he didn't have much help. And that's the story. Let's get back to action now as the second half begins. McNeese in the blue takes the ball first and moves to the right as you view it. Bradley goes inside and scores the first two.
Lamar Sanders worried about picking up a quick foul, and Jarvis Bradley just dribbled right at him and shot over him.
Hopkins.
Both coaches told us before the game that rebounding was going to be the key. So that 24-18 advantage Cowboys is exactly what Dave Simmons wanted coming into this game.
5-second violation. You don't see that much.
No, you sure don't, especially down there on the wing. Troy Aaron just doing too much dribbling and not enough movement by his teammates.
Well, the scoring leaders in the first half. Cody Davis. After that, Lamar up by 1, 28-27. Largest lead they had in the first half was 6. McNeese's largest was 2. And there's a shot and a foul. It'll count and the free throw.
Nice basket by Darren Hopkins. A good offensive set for Lamar. Good spacing. Look how spaced out on the floor. Gives Hopkins enough room to just dribble down there to the short corner and convert a basket. It's a nice offensive set.
That was on Penn, his second. Hopkins now with a quick 8 points already, going for 9 to tie for second. Honors doesn't get it though. The rebound goes out of bounds, and Lamar gets it back. 2 McNeese Staters battled for the same rebound.
Boy, that's just hard for Dave Simmons to watch. That's just a lack of concentration to not come down with that rebound.
Chappelle. And Musa runs in and is called for the foul. That'll turn it the other way. There's Dave.
That's his first.
Dave's saying, I don't know. I guess that's a hustle mistake. Both guys going for the ball, as opposed to both guys letting it fall out. 30-27, 3-point lead. Three-point basket can take care of that, though. Game's been tied just twice at 4 and at 21.
Nice.
Bradley.
Set up by a nice pass, Cleon Penn. And we've seen so much of the high-low action by Lamar. That time McNeese State going with the high-low action. Penn bringing big old Musa out of the defense and throwing it over the top. Lamar Sanders just isn't being very aggressive, and I know he sat a lot in the first half because of foul trouble, but he's going to have to pick it back up.
Daring to take that. He missed it. Sampson with the rebound, though, and he is swatted. That may be number 3 on Penn.
Ray Sampson is scrappy. He's just 6'1". He's a junior out of Houston Jones High School. He is scrappy. He is always, whenever that ball comes down, it seems like Sampson's kind of around it, got a good nose for the ball.
Sampson was a winner, certainly in high school. He put on the state 4A champ from Jones. That was 12 points and 6 rebounds for that team. And that's what he had, I should say, in that
Lawrence returns for the Cowboys.
One more free throw, though. He hasn't scored in this game. He averages 2.9, 1.6 rebounds.
He's only taken 5 free throws this year. That was just his 6th attempt.
Well, Penn doesn't know how much longer he'll stay in the game with those 3 fouls, but he certainly took that rebound with aggression. Double team foul. Pell. That'll be a 2-shot foul.
Cardinal foul, Brandon Chappelle.
Troy Aaron has battled shoulder problems all year long. In fact, their last game Thursday night, Troy only played 9 minutes. He hit 2 big free throws in an overtime game against San Houston State, but he has really battled some injuries.
He'll have one more shot. Aaron is out of Lake Charles, so he's a hometown.
Matt Barrow and James Edwards returned for the
Came out of high school, went to St. Louis High. Actually started his career at Tulane and transferred.
On a lot of leadership, senior leadership for Dave Simmons. Troy is a third-year starter.
Can't get the second one. Davis with the rebound. Well, he didn't hit it, but the scoreboard has a game time. That's pretty good. 30-29, then all of a sudden he went to 30-30. Is that correct? I don't think so. Well, if they don't change it, we'll have to assume it's correct.
Dave Simmons barking out, team up, Don, team up, Don.
Sanders. Dave. He handles the contact pretty well. He got the shot up back. He almost looked for it.
Yep, he sure did. Turned his shoulder and waited for the pin to come down on top of him. That was a nice job of drawing a foul.
Check one foul on Penn. He has 3, not 4, so he will be not quite as danger, but Davis at the free throw line.
He's been a pretty good free throw shooter this year. He shoots 72%, but in the last 5 minutes of basketball games, James Davis shoots 82% from the line. That's an advantage when you've got a big 7'1" kid that can shoot that well down the line, because usually coaches are in a position where they've got to take their big guys out of the game the last few minutes.
Shaq?
Yeah. Ball last 10 minutes.
McNeese comes up toward Ford. Into the lineup for McNeese to replace Penn is Matthews. He's working that low box.
He's calling for it.
He is. The ball kind of slipped off his hands, and it was loose and picked up and in there. And the basket goes to Bradley. His 3rd basket of the second half. He's up to 8 points.
Is that a shot by Massey? I thought it was like a jump hook pass, but I'm not sure what that was.
McNeese takes the lead. 32-30. Mars only scored 4 points in the second half. That is going to be changed, perhaps the foul line is flying through on that after that good pass. Sanders was fouled.
Cowboy foul, Troy Aaron, that's his first.
Troy Aaron with the foul.
Lamar Sanders.
Here's Bradley doing a good job hustling on the offensive boards. And, you know, he's been quiet so far. Came into this game as the leading scorer, leading rebounder for the Cowboys.
Yeah, they are working at the free throw line.
Yeah, they are.
This is not a very good free throw shooting team. It's 64%, but worse than that here in the second half. They missed 5.
Lamar Sanders just 52% for the season from the line. That's not very good.
Bradley with a rebound. They're opening the door by missing free throws. Aaron comes back down the other way. Good elevation. Couldn't get the shot to fall, but he's going to get it back after the hustle play by Lawrence. Bradley. Green set. Massive. Over a foul. Foul is on Davis.
Tell you what, that was a pretty good job of helping by James Davis, and I quite frankly didn't see where the contact was. He's guarding the screener and comes out, gets an awful lot of ball, and look and see if he gets him with the body. That's pretty good defense. That is pretty good defense. I'm with you on that one, Big Fella. I feel your pain.
Bradley misses the first of 2.
We're having a free throw missing contest.
Had 1 made out of, let's see, 4 and 6, 1 out of 10. So the 2 teams combined.
Ugly, man.
Sanders with a rebound, and he's fouled from behind by Lawrence.
Fouls on Lawrence's first. Case
Ball is inbound. No, neither team in the bonus yet. It won't take long with the number of fouls that have happened early. Here comes Hopkins, and he's fouled. It's getting closer. That was on Aaron.
Now Aaron asking for the push-off from Darren Hopkins, and they call D-Hop, but he's begging there because Hopkins did exactly what he should have done in the open court and just leaned his body into Troy Aaron.
Inbounding to the left. Davis takes it, goes up over the top. That looked so easy, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
He's got 12.
It's an easy game when he just catches the ball and turns and shoots.
We're tied at 32.
John Ford turned that corner. He reached behind him and he actually grabbed the jersey of Brandon Chappelle and was holding him down as he dribbled past him.
Too bad you're on a camera over here. I was getting visual aided.
Yeah, it was just, offensive foul. I was hoping.
Three-pointer by Darren Hopkins. He's still going. And it's back to a 1-point lead by Lamar. Bradley runs into traffic. There's a whistle, and I think he's going to count it. Let's see. Yes. Basket's going to count and a foul.
Yeah, interesting. Steve Rockefort's over there saying he traveled twice, and he's right. He sure did travel.
It's a 1-point McNeese State lead with 15:49. There'll be some free throws, but first let's take a look at the Sinorama Southland Conference standings. That Southeast Louisiana Northwestern State game should be just about over, and we'll get some numbers on that. But the rest of them are all final, and that's updated. Nicholls State hurt themselves by losing today. UT Arlington, they won. That was good, but Stephen F. Austin hurt themselves by losing today. Again, the top two in each division and the next best four will play in the tournament at the Campbell Center in Houston.
Boy, that is ugly. Cowboys for the game shooting 43% from the line. And that's actually sizzling compared to Lamar, who's shooting 35%. This half, two teams combined, 0 for 10.
I think I just went down. They just missed one while you were reading it. 36-35, 1-point lead for McNeese. Sanders there is letting Darren in, so he's saying, I'm not going to shoot him out there. I'm going to throw it away instead.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, he should have. It's hard for a big fella to catch the ball. You can't dribble in right on top of him and then try to pass to him.
Here's McNeese. Ford brings up court. 11 points for the junior from Alexandria, Louisiana. Ball knocked loose, picked up though, and that made good position for Bradley, but he couldn't get it down. He tries it again. Muffles it home. Bradley is coming on real strong, except at the foul line. He had 5 field goals here in the second half.
That's now 12 points, 4 rebounds for Jarvis Bradley.
And McNeese with a 3-point lead. That's the largest that team has had. And there's a takeaway. Here's Bradley. Couldn't stop him by Sanders, and Bradley has another basket. 14 points in the game, and the lead is 5, and that's the largest lead McNeese has had. 40-35, 14:51 to go in the game. Bradley is loose.
You think they're talking to each other?
No, they're telling people that the camera's pointing at us right now. Right now.
Call friends free, even if you're sitting next to them at the game.
Don't forget the Campbell Center, the Riley Auto Parts Southland Conference Tournament, March 11th. Will finish up after it starts on the 8th. Ticket information at southland.org or any Southland Conference school ticket office. These two teams are battling not only to get in it, but also to have as high a seed as they can. And there's still 3-4 games left, depending on the school. 4 games for Lamar, 3 for everyone else.
Yeah, sagging off with Lamar. Sanders daring him to shoot that ball up there at the top of the key.
Well, Davis got the inside spot, and I believe this will be Cleon Penn's 4th foul.
Cowboy foul, Cleon Penn, that's his 4th.
Well, we are in the bonus now for Lamar.
The bad news is we're in the bonus, and somebody else has to go to the free throw line.
Well, Davis has missed 4 out of 6. And this is 1+.
But he's not a bad free throw shooter. He's been leaning back and shooting a little flat. Let's see if he gets a better arch on the ball. One
more. That makes it a 4-point lead to McNeese State. And Davis now is up to 13 points. Roberts are hoping his team can have a run now as they cut that deficit back down to 3. They led at the half, only by 1. That's a lot too far. Davis has it. Chest passes it up, and forward almost is our friend. Here's Chappelle. Too high. Shot not close. The rebound down to McNeese. Bradley.
Remember the first time these two teams played, Lamar had a 13-point lead, and McNeese State finished on a 31-10 run in the last 10 minutes of that ball game.
This time McNeese hopes they were the ones with the run, and there will be a foul as Hopkins was flat out turned into a Beaumont sandwich.
What?
A Beaumont sandwich.
A Beaumont sandwich.
And he's going to reconnect himself as the 4th foul on Massey. So Massey has 4 and Penn has 4 from McNeese. They average 18.3 fouls a game. That's about average for a club.
Partly as a result of that career high Thursday night against A&M Corpus Christi that Darren Hopkins had. The last 3 comes into this game averaging 24 points per game, 4 assists, and shooting a sizzling 55% from the field.
But he's up to 12 points in this game. He had 14 in the first game against McNeese, as Massey will leave the lineup with those fouls. And looks like Rory Lawrence again.
Nice sideline break off of the made free throw.
Back down to a 1-point game. Somebody forgot to guard Tucson, and he forgot to hit an open shot. Sanders with the rebound.
And he almost took that shot because he felt like he had to instead of looking for his shot. Nice jump stop at the elbow, and then just throws.
Barrow. Down to Chappelle. He wants to run the big guy Davis. Perfect pass. Davis is fouled coming around from the backside by Pichon. If he doesn't foul him, it's 2 points. So it was a good foul.
James Davis does a good job of keeping this ball up high. The pass came over the top, and so often you see big fellas catch that ball up high and then bring it down. But James Davis kept that ball up over his head. Watch how high he keeps it as he turns and goes to the basket. That's good fundamentals.
He'll get 2 shots, foul in the act. Now he's strung 3 in a row together and tied the game at 40. And McNeese will make some changes. Back into the game is Aaron, and also back into the game is Wardell. Leaving is Pichon and Bradley. 1 more for Davis. He can put the lead back in the Lamar column. Rory Lawrence. Man, they want to handle the ball. It's pretty obvious. John Ford, he's got it most of the time. Bell has him defensively. Ford doesn't get the bounce. And the rebound comes down after a scramble. And it's finally picked up by, well, it's going to be a foul. Wardell, who got the shot off, and the big guy Davis fouled him.
Not so sure the Cowboys don't have 2 hurt down on the floor. Both of them slow getting up. That's Troy Aaron. Remember, we told you he's been having a lot of shoulder problems. He dives down on the floor for this ball, and well, you talk about an easy way to re-injure a shoulder. See how he stretched out and dove on the floor?
Well, actually, they didn't give the foul to Davis. It's worse. They gave it to Hopkins. That's his 4th. That was down before Davis did he foul while they were scrambling on the floor, so Wardell gets the first free throw.
I'm not sure Lamar knows that. Oh, yeah, sure they do.
He does now. Oh, yeah, he may not have, but the team did. They got him out. And back in is Matthew Barrow. 1 more shot for Wardell.
Now with Hopkins going to the bench, I think it's going to be crucial for Lamar to continue to go inside to James Davis. He's having a terrific night. 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 block shots.
Lead slips back over to the McNeese column by 1, 42-41. Exactly 13 minutes to go in this Southland Conference very important battle. The pass is a little slow and deflected, and they finally score. Here comes Ford. Gonzalez, strong move, got it, and a foul.
Well, I tell you what, Quentin Gonzalez, for a big, thick-bodied kid, he sure does move smooth. Scores a nice push ahead by John Ford, just making the easy pass. But big Quentin Gonzalez, look at the agility of the big kid. Oh, that's nice.
Out of Galveston ball, 6'6", 260.
That's the most 280-looking 260 I ever saw in my life.
He missed it, front end of the 1-and-1, and the rebound comes down to the big guy, James Davis. Chappelle. Davis looking for it. He can't get a passing angle, so they swing it around to Chappelle.
Well, he's got Wardell trying to front him, and they ought to throw it over the top. Yeah, they should.
Big height advantage. Meanwhile, Sanders sees an opening down the middle. Can't get it down. The rebound pulled off, and then a foul. Gonzalez got the rebound, and he got sandwiched. And he's fouled. And that one will be on Davis, his second.
That's going to be a tough decision for Steve Roccaforte as you see the foul trouble, how long he leaves Hopkins over there on the bench. And he's going to look up at that clock a bunch of times in the next 3 minutes. If I were seeing him right about the 7-minute mark, I'd go back with him.
Gonzalez with the front end of a 1-and-1. Not a good foul shooter this year, 50%, but that one looks nice. He's got 9 points. One more shot for the big guy. Another Cedric Gonzalez played baseball at Alabama. He's been a tough one against Lamar. He had a 16-12 game last year, and then he had 12 in the first game, so he's always big on the board. It's pretty close, and it's a 5-point lead again for McNeese.
McNeese extends that lead much past 5. Steve Roccaforte may not have the luxury of having Hopkins over there on the bench until the 7-minute mark. He may have to roll the dice and go with him sooner to stay close in this game.
Nice grass shot off the baseline right by Curry Todd. He's got 5, and it's back down to a 3-point McNeese.
You and I both thought the same thing right as that ball kissed off the glass. That's a nice shot.
And teammate Lawrence, that was kicked, so inadvertent kick, so still in play. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Don Ford looking on Chappelle all the way. Blocked by Davis, but out of bounds. The shot clock left 14 seconds left.
On the floor.
And they'll use the 14 seconds after we take a break. 11 minutes and 37 seconds to go in this one. Dave Simmons and Steve Roccaforte with some words of wisdom. We've got a break, and we'll be back. McNeese leads it by 3. This is a hotly pitched battle. In fact, a couple of the assistant coaches exchanged some words just at the outset of that timeout, as we can't really guess what. Now they're bringing
bringing Simmons and Roccaforte over together. But I'm telling you, the coaches had to be separated. Don Skelton for Lamar and T.J. Markham, assistant coach from McNeese State, they were really going at each other right as that timeout was called. And I didn't see what precipitated it, but there's Don Skelton. He is furious at T.J. Markham, and the officials came running over, and they all had to be separated.
And right now the coaches met with the officials at midcourt. Dave Simmons is still very animated, to say the least. That's live. They had just finished meeting at midcourt with Steve Roccaforte and Dave Simmons.
Well, that was good officiating. It was good. They needed to get the head coaches over there and talk to them, but it doesn't look like it's resolved anything.
Well, let's take a look at our American Airlines Southland Conference upcoming games. All of these are big. They almost all have some bearing on this conference race going down to the wire. Lamar Northwestern, that's huge. Stephen F. Austin at Corpus Christi, that's huge. Sam Houston State needs to win. Lamar needs to win at Nichols. Big for Nichols, too, in Southeast Louisiana McNeese. You don't see too many there that don't have major bearings on the way things are going to finish.
I think what started all that is James Davis was down on the ground and said that he got kicked in the face, and he retaliated and shoved upwards, and I'm not sure whether the assistant coach T.J. Markham took exception to that or not, but man, that was a weird event, and Steve Roccaforte's still mad over there on the sideline.
Gonzalez returns, replacing Kyle Wardell.
Gonzalez back in, Wardell out for McNeese. And Barrow has the basketball. Lamar down by 3 with 11:20 to go. This game has been exactly what we expected. Hotly contested by two well-matched teams. Davis. 3! Brandon Chappelle ties it at 46.
Delay a game warning after that basket. Brandon Chappelle, that was a big basket for Rockefell's Cardinals.
Down 4. Watched closely by Chappelle. Taylor down low. Sanders with the steal, but it's picked off by Gonzalez. He has no shot, but he has a pass, and the basket goes to Bradley. Another great pass. Gonzalez with that one. He had really nowhere to go with the ball.
You know, that all started with Lamar Sanders.
Davis saves it. Now he's got numbers. Todd slips out of his hands. Saved by McNeese. Here's Gonzalez. He can't get the reverse layup down. And it's picked up by Lamar. A tennis match is breaking out here. Barrow. And finally a collision in contact. And it looked like Barrow or Sanders got one in the eye.
Yeah, he got hit in the face. Yeah, they're calling an intentional foul. Watch it again. Coming right at you. Lamar Sanders comes across. I don't know about that. I mean, he reached across. It looked like a bad foul, but I don't know that that was intentional and flagrant.
Now they're trying to keep kind of groggy.
That's that same eye.
Sanders goes to free throw line.
Remember in the last game against A&M Corpus Christi, Lamar Sanders got almost knocked silly, got a split on his eye, was woozy, checked in the last play of the game, only played 5 minutes in the second half. Checked in, told Steve Rockeford, I think I can help. And boy, did he. He checked in and deflected a pass to save the win. Let's watch again and see if... Well, this is a nice move because Lamar Sanders shoots 52% from the line, and he decided he's bleeding so bad or so hurt he can't shoot, so you put in Darren Hopkins, who shoots 71% from the line. I like that old rule. Remember when the other coach would be able to go down the bench and pick somebody to go in and shoot the free throw? Gee, he picked the big fat guy, you know, I'm not sure he even had a jock strap on. He's down there and he sweats and hadn't played in months, and I loved it when the coach could go choose somebody.
Well, Hopkins is going to get both of them. Well, that's paid off. And it ties the game again at 48.
I know the tensions are really high right now, but I just didn't think that was that bad of a foul. Did you?
It didn't look like it from the angle we had. It didn't look like, I mean, he shoved him, but it didn't look like it was.
I mean, it didn't go for the head, and he came down with his arms across the arm. And Dave Simmons is going to be a little frustrated with that call.
Well,
just trying to get
yeah, that's it, because this game has had some moments. Well,
I think they bumped heads. Did they bump heads?
They did, but the push looked more severe from that angle. And more,
I don't know
more
about
deliberate.
that.
Here's Todd. The lane was there. But Bradley had the rebound and went out of bounds off of Lamar, so it'll go the other way.
I think James Davis helped the situation about like a bouncer helps in a bar fight. He was over there maybe instigating a little. See, Davis, not sure he's really helping too much.
I don't know. I think he's. I think he is. That was a foul, however, on Davis. Ball does not simply just go out of bounds. Now Bradley goes back to the line. That's the danger here, is that as the officials try to get these guys to calm down, there may be more fouls called, and that could be a big difference in the way the game ends.
Darren Hopkins checks back out. Remember, he's got 4 fouls. Steve Rockefort can keep him on that bench as long as the score is within 3 points. If it gets beyond 3, he's going to have to come back with Hopkins. I think ideally he'd like to put him back in at about the 7-minute mark.
Davis, and he was pushed by Gonzalez. Gonzalez was in a tough spot. He had to play him one-on-one, so he had to use the body. and he had to hope he could pop the pass away without being seen, because he had to use his body, for sure.
So that's when Lamar's at their best, when they can flat throw the ball up to the high post and kind of do a little, it's called a duck-in move, where your big guy just ducks into the paint and turns and seals the defender on his back. That's when James Davis is his best.
Well, he's hitting the free throws now. He started out cold, but he's hit his last 5. He's got 17 points. Eight. 50-48. Gonzalez trying to tie it back up. Behind the lines, better than that. Doesn't get it. Lawrence tracks it down, but he has to let it go out of bounds because he touched it last.
Quentin Gonzalez has been so good attacking the rim. I don't know why he settles for a three-point shot. He's only a 24% shooter, and Dave Simmons can't be happy with that last possession. Attack the basket, big fella.
If Quentin, that's a shot you are free to take, and there's 1 second on the shot clock. And not any other time.
Well, he's been so good off the dribble.
Barrow. Lamar leads by 2 with the ball. We're inside 10 minutes, 9:26. Chappelle will get the shot away, but it won't matter anyway. There was a foul down inside.
Now called it on Davis, elbowing Jarvis Bradley in the face.
Now he's got 4. So tightening up on the aggressiveness maybe starting to show. He's going to have to sit down. And probably for a while, depending on how the game goes. As long as Lamar stays tight, he may keep resting for a while. Ford. Bradley. Back to Ford. Bradley working on Musa. And he works on it. Musa picks up the foul.
That's his second.
It's his second. And Bradley goes back to the free throw line.
Earlier this year, Jarvis Bradley has been a Southland Conference Player of the Week.
He had a good game against Lamar first meeting, 15 points and 9 rebounds. He's bested the points. And Musa gets the rebound. And here they come again. Bradley has 7 rebounds in this game. Leading rebounder is Davis with 18 points. He's on the bench for 4 fouls. Chappelle for 3. Bradley the rebound. He's back with it. Here's Ford.
Well, that 3 was deep.
It was straight on. He just didn't quite have the right strength. Bradley rolled one home.
Well, he's heating up. He feels like he can take Steven Musa. He took him inside last time. That time just pulled up and shot right over him.
Well, he's got 20 points. The most he's ever scored in a game is 21. He's still got 8 minutes to play. Barrow. Chappelle. 3 ball. Not there. Musa. Rebound. Bobbles. Bobbles again. Picked up by Sanders, who muscles it home. Gonzalez to the baseline. Cut off. Doesn't matter. Bradley follows it home.
Yeah, but see, that's where Quentin Gonzalez is at his best, when he's attacking the rim and not settling for step-back jump shots.
Bradley with 22, a career high from the deep corner. There's a 3, but Curry ties. And just as quickly, it goes back to a 2-point lead for Lamar.
Oh, we got a good basketball game on our hands.
And we're going to have right now it's a 30-second timeout called by McNeese. With 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the game. Lamar leads it by 2, 55-53.
Montagne Center. Now, ladies and gentlemen, your Lamar Band.
Jarvis Bradley doing a good job rebounding after the aggressive dribble penetration by Quentin Gonzalez, but down on the other end, Curry Todd with his second 3-pointer. Nice job by Curry Todd, just spotting up and burying the jump shot. Look at the emotion on the bench for the Cardinals.
It's a huge game again. If you've just joined us, McNeese State comes in 7-6 in the league. They've won 3 in a row. Lamar is 6-6 in the league. They've won 3 in a row. Both teams are 2 or 3 games under 500, 3 under for McNeese overall, and 2 under for Lamar. But the big thing is the conference postseason situation. A win virtually, not really, but just about cinches a spot in the tournament. A loss does not knock one out, but it harms things because there are several teams jockeying for those same spots.
Nice adjustment coming out of that timeout. Steve Roccaforte changing his defense to a zone defense.
And there's a foul in tight on the big guy, Musa, his third. They will take a timeout with 7:24 to play. A 2-point lead for Lamar.
See a Texas State Farm agent for discounts up to 40% on auto insurance.
Your car knows there's a new O'Reilly Auto Parts store. That means better parts, better people, and better prices are just around the corner. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices.
Join the momentum at Lamar University. Lamar instructors can help you learn more so you can earn more. Make an investment in your future today in one of more than 100 courses of study at Lamar University. Call 409-880-8888 or visit lamar.edu. At Lamar, we're expanding minds, shaping futures.
(55-53), 7:24 to go. The hot man, even though McNeese is still behind by a pair, is Jarvis Bradley.
Yeah, he has been terrific in the second half. His 9 of 10 from the floor, has done a little bit of everything. He's taken players off the dribble. He's spotted up. He has been great off the boards and attacking the basket. He's been good defensively, running through lanes in transition, and he has really put this McNeese State team on his back here in the second half. Has just been playing some terrific basketball.
19 in the second half. 21 is his correct total, which ties his career high.
Boy, 19 points, 7 rebounds. That's an outstanding game, much less a half.
His free throw shooter is Aldrin Wardell.
Just a 58% shooter for the season from the line.
Perfect this time, both ends of it. 1-1. Both teams actually in the foul. They're in the double bonus from now on. And everything will be 2 shots. 55-55. 7th tie again.
Well, they really have this defense, this zone defense from McNeese State really spread out. Look how far Ford is having to go. That's that spacing. John Ford, when the ball's on his side, he's got the ball. When it's on the other side, he's trying to run all the way across the lane and cover the high post. And that leaves Curry Todd standing out there. Another 3-pointer for Todd.
He's got 11 points on 4 field goals, 3 of them threes. Wardell has it tied up or not? I think not. They're going to call a foul on Curry Todd. 2 shots coming for Aldrin Wardell, a junior from Shreveport. Averages 5.3 points a game. Very strong rebound. In fact, he had a 17-rebound game. That's pretty strong. 1 more for Wardell.
Watch how spread out. Watch John Ford. He's out there on the ball. Now he goes all the way across the lane to the high post and just can't recover back out to get Curry Todd. That's a good offensive set by the Cardinals.
That one is 2 in, and it is a 58-56 game. Once again, 2 points Todd across the strike.
Remember, the Cardinals are doing all this with Darren Hopkins and James Davis, 4 fouls sitting over there on that bench rested. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't check back in here real quick.
Todd locked on the high post to Sanders, had to get rid of it. Pretty good lid. That's a 3-pointer for Matthew Barrow. His first points of the game.
Boy, that was a bomb.
And the lead is 5 for McNeese. Or for Lamar. McNeese has the ball, 2 points. Stepped out of bounds. Bradley was out. Well, was he pushed? No. They're going to say he was pushed by Sanders.
Is that 5 on Sanders?
No, he's okay. I think it's only 3. It is.
You know, he had those 2 early in the game, sat out most of the first half with those 2 fouls, and can't believe that's just his first foul since then.
2 shots for Bradley. Now hits one of these. He does set a new personal high, but not yet. His high in rebounds was 12. He has 9 of those. Barrow gets the rebound. 11-2 run over the last 2 minutes. But what happens over the last about 6 minutes will determine who wins the game. Meanwhile, Barrow, I think, was bodied too much, and there's going to be a foul called here. Holding foul.
Matthew Barrow's kind of feeling it a little bit after that 3-pointer. He's getting a little too cute with the ball out there. He needs to just focus and concentrate and keep doing what he's been doing. There's no time to do any little prancing out here with the basketball.
The 3rd foul on Troy Aaron. Barrow, first free throw of the game, 71%er, and doesn't get it. Let's see. 11 for 22 from McNeese. 16 for 28.
Well, you take James Davis's free throws out, and I bet Lamar's shooting about 30% from the free throw line.
Yeah, Davis was 8 for 12. There's 17 for 29, so you take out 12, that's 17.
How'd I do?
Close. Do the math on that. You're close. 4. Foul. The basket counts.
Oh, that was a big shot by John Ford, and Brandon Chappelle can't believe it. He thought he was playing pretty good belly-up defense, but that was a veteran move by the 5'10" junior from Alexandria. Look at him get Chappelle off balance and then just kind of leans into him a little bit. Now, that looked just like Tony Parker for the Spurs. You know, so good at getting in there and getting the defensive player off the ground and then making contact with him.
Harris completes a 3-point play. He's up to 14 points in the game. And it's down to 3 again. Lamar's lead is 3. Barrow gets it off to Chappelle. That was his 3rd foul. It's knocked out. And they will put it in play in front of the scores table on the far side. Lamar will inbound it, but first, Rory Lawrence is coming back into the lineup for McNeese.
Now, I think this is nice coaching by Steve Roccaforte. I know he would like to have Hopkins and Davis on the floor, but his team is kind of in a rhythm, and it's going so well that there's no reason to break it up right now.
Chappelle for 3 misses that one. No, he also still has the lead. Rebound torn down. Like his son, and now we have a foul. And Chappelle has got 4. Chappelle with 4. Hopkins with 4. And Davis with 4. On the other side, Cleon Ken has 4. And Eric Massey.
Boy, that's a long way from the basket to be fouling an 81% free throw shooter. I'm just not sure you need to do that.
And 2 of the guys with 4 about to come back into the game, Davis and Hopkins. Here they come. Chappelle will lead, and so will Musa.
John Ford is 10th on McNeese State's all-time assist list. He is terrific with that basketball. Honorable mention all Southland Conference last year.
He got 16 points.
He doesn't look tired at all, but he plays a lot of minutes. He's been averaging in conference games 37 minutes per game.
A 1-point Lamar lead. Hopkins back in, playing with 4. Davis back down low in the box, playing with 4.
Well, that's got to be 3 seconds. Gee whiz.
A 3-pointer by Curry Todd, his 3rd of the half and 4th of the game, and it's back to a 4-point lead.
Yeah, Dave Simmons knew that one of the keys to his team tonight was going to be defending the 3-point shot of the Lamar Cardinals. So far, Curry Todd has been outstanding. It is on.
And a foul at number 5 on Davis. He was trying to be very conservative, but he still got him on the wrist.
That was a good call. Everybody's booing, but that's exactly right. He hit that wrist as Pashone turned around and squared up. Watch and see if you can see him make contact. That's Bradley.
4:24, he will be out as soon as they notify. Now they do.
Yeah, see, he's got his hand on that shooting elbow, and while it doesn't look like a lot of contact, you know, when a guy's going up to shoot, it doesn't take much hitting that elbow to throw that shot off. It's like when you're trying to write right now, and I'm hitting your elbow, it just doesn't work very well.
I'll just change to the other hand.
You're ambidextrous,
I am. Well, he leads with 18 points, 8 rebounds, 5 for 10 from the field, 8 for 12 from the free throw line. He had a couple of assists, and now they see what they can do protecting this 4-point lead. He also had 6 blocks.
Yeah, he had a
career high.
Yeah, but he had a terrific game. That is the 8th time this year that James Davis has fouled out.
And that's one of the reasons why he hasn't started as much lately. It allows you to skip the first part of the game.
The first 2 fouls.
Yeah.
I think he's much better coming off the bench. I like what Steve Rockefeller has done, getting his guys to buy into, you know, a lot of the guys that were starting. Last time we saw Matthew Barrow was starting and Curry Todd was starting, and now those guys coming off the bench with James Davis.
You know, if you're going as deep in your bench as McNeese and Lamar both do, being a starter is an honor, but it really isn't going to make a whole lot of difference how much you play. If you play well when you get in, you stay in.
You always want to be a finisher, not a starter.
That's right. 65-63. Now Bradley has the new high with those 2 free throws, and we have a foul. This one will be on McNeese. That will be on Rory Lawrence.
That foul was as bad as the one we just saw Brandon Chappelle do. There's no reason for Rory Lawrence to be out here 40 feet from the basket bumping Matthew Barrow. Look how far from the basket is, and he's just bumping him.
Yeah, you're not going to do anything out there.
No.
And especially now that you're in the shooting 2 shots for every foul. And this is a pretty good shooter, 71%. He's hit 2 out of 3 in this game. Matthew Barrow out of Baton Rouge, a junior. He'd been a starter. Talk about starters. He'd been a starter in 23 of the first 26 games. Came off the bench here again as he had the last couple. 67-63. Nowhere to go with that. Finally was out of bounds. The official at the side, he touched it last. They're going to say McNeese did. That was where Gonzalez got himself in a pickle. You got to remember, that basket is, the backboard is 4 feet in front of the end line, so you got room to drive the base. Now we have a trip, and that's going to be Lawrence's 3rd foul.
Let's see what happened. It looked like he got bumped on top of the head. Matthew Barrow, I'm not sure he didn't get elbow on top of the skull.
Well, he gets a foul just the same. We'll go down the other way. And Barrow will be back at the free throw line again. Talking about that baseline, if you can't really see it as well on television, those who have played the game are well aware that it's 4 feet to the back end line from the basket. So you may get the baseline, you still can't do anything with the shot because you got to lean out to get something up.
But the key to that, Greg, is then when you go in there, don't jump off of one foot and put yourself into a position where you're forced to just throw the ball and you don't have anyone to throw it to. Go in there and jump stop. It's better to get a 3-second call because you jump stop than to just throw the ball away. At least if it's a turnover, you can go down and set up your defense.
And in this case, it resulted in a scramble and a foul. They got 1 out of 2. And it's a 5-point lead for Lamar. Again, the largest lead they had was over in the first half at 6.
Well, McNeese State needs to find Bradley bad. He's been so good the last 4 or 5 times down the court, has not touched the ball.
21 points in the second half for Jarvis Bradley. Doing all he can to keep this team in it. They're down by 5. 4. Gonzalez. Again, he had nothing to go with. He just kind of jumped up and threw it away, and Sanders comes out with the ball. He left his feet with no plan.
Second time in a row.
68-63, 3.5 minutes to go. Lamar with the ball. A hoop here gives them the largest lead of the night. For either team. Sanders. And away from the action. What?
Timeout.
Timeout was called. This is a short 30-second timeout. They'll have 13 seconds on the shot clock when they come back.
It's a pretty good timeout by Steve Roccaforte. He will get Darren Hopkins back in the game. And there's a lot of foul troubles for both teams. Ken Massey Lawrence with 4 for the Cowboys. James Davis already fouled out. Chappelle Hopkins, the 2 point guards for the Cardinals, both with 4 fouls.
Yeah, Lamar's in a little more serious trouble based on the importance of the players. But they also have the lead, and they could get up to 7 or 8 with this possession, which can counterbalance some of that.
Well, that was a good timeout by Steve Roccaforte. Shot clock got down to 13. He was concerned that his team was not going to get a good shot. So call a timeout, get his junior point guard Darren Hopkins back in the game, call a play so that at least you get a good shot at the rim.
Steve Roccaforte, when I got here, he was running the stairs. I said, you do that for everything? He says, I do it every day. Just while we're here.
Tough way to make a living, partner. There's some serious stress sitting over there on that bench. That is a crazy way to make a living. Oh my gosh. I don't understand it. I know Dave Simmons wants his guys playing good defense, but that's about the 3rd time we have just seen a silly foul 30 feet from the basket.
3 minutes and 13 seconds to go. It's Lamar leading by 5 here at the Montagne Center. Reed Geddes, my partner's had a very busy day. Worked a Big 12 game earlier today at College Station, then drove over here, had a flat tire, got here in time. Nice that you got here.
Yeah, just barely, partner. You almost flew solo tonight.
But you're seeing quite a game tonight.
Yes, I am. Terrific game. I don't understand why here lately McNeese State keeps fouling so far from the basket. That last possession, they let the shot clock get down to 13. There's a timeout. The ball's thrown in. The shot clock's down to 9, and then Dave Simmons' squad fouls. If you're going to foul, do that at the 34-second mark, and don't let all that valuable time run off the clock.
Lamar now has the largest lead they've had all night, 70-53 with 3 minutes and 7 seconds left. But as we've seen all year, that's plenty of time.
Nice block.
Partly blocked. Yeah, couldn't get it up. Aaron with a rebound. Where's he go with it? Ford. This one not blocked. This one not on. And the rebound is Sanders.
Good hustle.
Play.
Boy, great hustle by Lamar Sanders. Hey, McNeese State, you got to go inside to Jarvis Bradley. These guards are just going crazy here. There's still plenty of time left. 2:52 is an eternity. You need to go with the hot hand. Jarvis Bradley is not getting enough touches here the last 3 minutes.
Well, Aaron got a couple of shots up. He's out. So maybe the word's out. We got one up. Davis will inbound it. Pichon, another big guy in. Bradley off to Pichon. Now Davis.
Boy, Sansom plays hard. Look at him out here playing defense on court. Quick feet.
There's Bradley, gives it up. Sees a dribble drive lane. Dump off to Bradley for 2 and a foul. Nice pass from Pichon Bradley into there. And the basket scored and the foul.
Yeah, nice job. Jarvis Bradley not forcing it. Throws the ball up top to Rory Lawrence and a nice little drop-off pass. That's a hard pass to catch right there, to throw it down on the floor. Keep your concentration down, catch the ball, and then go up strong.
Complete the three-pointer there. 70-65, 2:29 left. Now, McNeese, famous for their defense most of the year, already has had more points scored on them than the average. The average giving up 63-6. Lamar, though, averages 72. They're going to perhaps get higher than normal. Barrow goes to the lane and he's stripped.
Yeah, they called a charge. Quentin Gonzalez did a nice job rotating over on Barrow.
Now Lamar will bring Chappelle back in with 4 and Hopkins with 4. McNeese comes up court with 4.
I tell you what, one of these little guards ought to be slapped upside their head if Jarvis Bradley doesn't touch the ball this time down the court.
Bradley sets a screen roll and comes out, then Lawrence pops to the top. Pichon, he's got Gonzalez. He's a pretty good option too if he Makes the right decision. Eight on the shot clock. Bradley fakes twice, goes up, and is fouled.
Good execution.
Sanders joins the club.
Jarvis Bradley is just so quick laterally with his back to the basket. He can shift to one shoulder. Watch him get Sanders off balance with a spin. And he is a load down there, and I'm McNeese State. I just keep going to Jarvis Bradley. Everybody's in foul trouble trying to guard him.
At 26 points. But he's missed 8 free throws. That could come back and bite him. They're trailing by 4. And Lamar this time, 27. And it's 70 to 67. The trap, double team, thrown away. And McNeese gets it back.
Yeah, nice trap that time by McNeese State. Curry Todd just panicked.
Double-double, by the way, for Bradley. 27 points to go with 10 rebounds. The only blot on that is 5 for 13 at the foul line. Chappelle is going to leave, and you're going to bring an extra big guy in defensively. That's Musa.
And Musa, that's advantage Bradley again on the lateral quickness. I just keep going back to it. I sound like a broken record, don't I?
Well, you go to the guy who's getting it done. Except for the foul shooting, he's getting it done. Didn't get it done that time, though. He's a little off balance. The rebound fought for, and finally it will be retained by, I think timeout was called to hold on to it. They call it timeout just so they can hold on to the ball.
I like Ray Sansom. He doesn't put up huge numbers, only averages 3 points, 2 rebounds, but is a high energy guy. It is amazing how many times this kid is around the basketball.
Well, we talked about the race down the wire. Here's what they've got coming up. Now for Lamar, they got to go to Northwestern State. That's one of the top teams in the East. It has been this year. Nicholstead has been playing very well in conference play. Southeast Louisiana, the other top team in the East as the day began, and then of course the tournament. So that's going to be a tough task because first of all they have one more game than anyone else. They have played only 12 before tonight. Meanwhile, Southeast Louisiana, one of the top teams in the East. Nicholls State, one of the teams they're battling, but they do have them both at home.
Partner, did we get a final score in that Southeastern Northwestern State game?
I have not seen it. Let's see.
That's a big game.
I don't think they brought us an updated sheet on that. But no, the last I had was with 2 minutes to go, so we'll have to double check on that. This is a tie ball, and this one is going to go to Lamar.
Lamar really struggling with this full court trap from McNeese State. Steve Rutherford's squad, you know, they inbound the ball, they've got a clearing, and they're just holding the ball and allowing the trap to come. Throw the ball into one side, dribble up till you get into a trap, take a back dribble, step back, reverse the ball, get it to the middle, and go.
We're down to a minute 10, and McNeese has a 3-point deficit, but Lamar has the ball. Curry Todd will inbound the ball, maybe, and it's knocked away. It will still be Lamar's ball.
Well, I tell you what, Lamar can't even get the ball in bounds all of a sudden. All 10 players down here, someone should go long.
Still can't get it in.
Wow. You know, all 3 players are all running to the same spot on the floor. There's no spacing at all. They need to screen for each other and have some spacing.
He almost did it, but still can't get it in. Finally do. They spread it out a little bit. Now they got to get it across the stripe.
You see how they're just holding it? They're allowing the trap to come over. I don't understand that.
They got it across. Todd for 3. Sanders got a hand on it, goes out of bounds, and it will be McNeese basketball.
Well, I'm not sure you want that shot. I know Curry Todd has been hot, but that was not a good time. With 55 seconds to go, you're up by 3. I don't think Steve Rockefeller wanted that shot.
Now Lamar will make a change. Coming back into the game is Sansom. There's Mr. Hustle.
All right, I'll remove the qualifier. I know Steve Roccaforte did not want that shot.
Hopkins is out, and so is Chappelle. They playing with 4, so they want to have that scrappy guy in there that can afford to play it.
You know, I think you definitely go ahead, break the press, and take a layup. But it took them 5 attempts just to break the press. There's no reason to break the press and then jack a three-pointer 2 seconds into the shot clock.
46 seconds, 4 to the ball. Nowhere to go there. Bradley saves it. Back up to 4 for 3.
Well, look at all the bodies.
And finally the rebound taken down by Musa.
Well, they should have fouled Musa while he had the ball.
32 seconds. And that, I think he got away with a double dribble there. Barrow picks up the ball. And finally a foul of Barrow. I'm not sure if he didn't touch the ball, lose the dribble, and kick with the other hand. Here's a Havoc Energy play of the game. That was the pass from the big guy to his fellow big guy early in the game.
And that was an extraordinary pass from James Davis, who had an extraordinary basketball game. A new career high, 6 block shots for the big fella.
Barrow. That's a very important free throw to make it a 4-point lead with 23 seconds left. I think Barrow, our State Farm player of the game, because it appears his team's going to win. If that had been the case, it would be Bradley. No question. Barrow makes it a 5-point game. It's a 3-point game again on the basket, quickly driven in by Pichon. Now timeout. 17 seconds. This will be the longest, 17.8 seconds. Because there's going to be a lot of strategic maneuvering here, a lot of fouling.
If I'm McNeese State, what I do is I foul before the ball ever gets in bounds. I know a lot of times you say wait and see if you can steal the inbound pass, trap it, and then foul. But depending on who's on the floor for Lamar, I'm not so sure I don't wrap them up and see if I can get a foul before the ball ever gets inbounded and before that clock stops. If not, if you're going to go for the steal, because they've had success the last 3 or 4 times, go for the steal, but as soon as somebody touches that ball, you've got to foul.
They've got a lot of candidates. As good a game as Bradley has had, he's a candidate for this game. He's actually a 68% foul shooter, but in this game, he's only 5 for 13.
You know, it's surprising Brandon Chappelle's out there. You think he's a great free throw shooter. He has struggled. He's at 59%. Lamar Sanders is out there at 52%. I'd wrap my arms around those 2 guys right now and make the official call a foul. Grab their pants, grab their shorts, grab their shirt, grab an arm, grab something, but call a foul.
They got the steal! Pichon!
Yeah, that shows what I know. Go ahead and get the steal and the dunk.
Another timeout. It's a 1-point game. They've had so much trouble getting the ball in against this pressure, though. I guess that's why their strategy was based on not fouling until you have to.
Well, you know, the last 3 times, they just can't get the ball in. You see Chappelle just standing there waiting for the pass? Boy, in this situation, you got to flash to the ball. He almost looked like he was going the other way. He wanted to grab that ball and take off running. And in this situation, young fella, come meet the ball.
Now, I know that you don't want to make a long pass. You want to make a nice, short, easy to complete pass, but it still seems to me they're jamming it up too much, and they're
all in one spot. There's no spacing.
Yeah, the defense is all coming there too. Well, 17.3 seconds.
Well, there's your game reset.
Only 1 timeout left, and that's Lamar's. What a game. Dave Simmons knew it was going to be real hard. We talked with him briefly before the game, and he said, this is not going to be an easy game. This is going to be a war because of our first game and the fact that now Lamar's at home and the fact that, frankly, these teams are pretty well balanced. They're not the same in the way they are put together, but because of the way they do match up, they come out as balanced. I mean, McNeese has a few more, well, they have a guy like Bradley, little mobile and quick at 6'6". Lamar has, their best players are really their guards plus the giant guy.
Well, these guards need to screen for each other. So far, they're just trying to go one-on-one and get open, and they're not getting open.
Let's try it here. There's one for Hopkins. Nowhere to go, and he has to call a timeout. Now nobody has any
Boy,
time.
howdy. You talk about lockdown defense. A lot of times when you have guards down here so close, you have problems getting the ball in bounds. It works to bring somebody up to half court and let him come toward you almost like a receiver where he can bob and weave and cut. But everybody at that free throw line, and look, there's nobody open. At least Chappelle tried to screen that time, so did Barrow. But, man, look at all those blue shirts out in the passing lane. See those arms out in the lane? And man, that's just terrific defense. All those guys can face guard the guy they're guarding because they've got a center fielder roaming behind them to keep that pass from going over the top.
FSN Southwest Live will be coming up, but we've still got 17 seconds to play.
And no timeouts now for Lamar, so now suddenly if Dave Simmons' squad gets out, denies that inbound pass again, Lamar is stuck. And one of those assistant coaches better be telling whoever's inbounding the ball, saying, hey, look, I know we're drawing up a play, but we don't have any timeouts left. And a good idea if you ever get stuck in this situation and you don't have any timeouts, instead of letting the other team have the ball in the basket, chunk it all the way down the court. You know, make it a free ball and just chunk it down there so at least the other team doesn't start out right underneath the basket.
That's a good point. They'd have to come back to put it in if it does go out. Also, you can, now they've got a safety dropping back here for McNeese.
You see everybody face guarding.
Bradley's the safety. He's guarding the middle. They get it in this time. Chappelle, and he's fouled.
Yeah, but did you see Chappelle keep moving to receive that pass as opposed to last time when he just stopped and waited for the ball to get to him? But Brandon Chappelle's only a 59% free throw shooter.
And he hasn't been there in this game. 15.8 seconds. He will be at the free throw line for two. Comparing the two teams, 24 out of 37 for Lamar. That's only 65%, but only 60% on 18 for 30 from McNeese. Huge.
Yeah, it was. Brandon Chappelle, 6-foot senior from Beaumont, Ozen.
There's how tight this game has been. And how tight the two teams have played this year.
Well, this is nothing new for McNeese State. They have had 4 league games going to overtime. Out of the 7 games that they've won, it's only been by an average of 5 points. So it seems like Dave Simmons' squad has been in a close game every time out.
Charles Saunier is into the game for McNeese. He's number 11. He's a three-point shooter. He may not get a chance. Ford's in trouble. Lamar picks it up. The clock ticking down at 4 seconds to the foul, but that turnover probably took away McNeese's last chance. Because we march all the way to the other end. It's a 3-point lead for Lamar. 1 free throw should put him in. 3.3 seconds.
You know, that would have been a good situation right there for Lamar to have gone ahead and fouled, but didn't have to. They were fortunate to get the turnover. Usually when there's just less than 5 seconds left to go, and you're up by 3, you go ahead and foul and put them on the free throw line. Steve Roccaforte elected to just play good straight-up defense, and it was the right decision.
Todd now really needs to hit 1. He hits 1. As I said, he really needs to hit 1.
Now, 3 seconds. The general rule is 1 dribble per second. So you got three dribbles before you have to shoot.
If he doesn't hit this, McNeese has a shot to throw in a 3. They have no shot now unless they would be fouled while shooting a 3, and that would be awful silly. And it's over.
That's the end of the game of the score. Lamar Cardinals 75. McNeese State 71.
So the final score 75-71. Lamar goes to 7-6. McNeese drops off to 7-7 in conference play. That's the final score. Coming up next, it's FSN Live, Southwest Big 12 Live. For Reed Geddes, this is Greg Lucas saying so long, everyone, from the Montagne Center in Beaumont, where the home team wins it 75-71.